watch Survivor, and when the show ends, you really want to talk about it with like-minded friends. It might be hard to find some, but don't you shed a tear. Check out the Purple Rock Podcast, and this is what you'll hear. John will make some dumb jokes, Andy likes to yell and curse, and if they're not available, the backup hosts are so much worse. Spend the whole time being jerks, telling you you're wrong, and so we got this other jerk to sing you our theme song. It's the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast.
Welcome to the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast. I am John, and this week we are talking Survivor 48, Episode 8, and in honor of David's plight to finally get strong men the recognition they deserve. My co-host this week is Andy. Andy, I need you to please put down that glass of milk and say hello to the people.
What's up, bros?
I thought it was time that, there's been a lot going on lately with just people like us, the biggest and strongest men, just being tossed aside and overlooked. And I felt like it was time for us to come together and host this podcast and really, do something for the
But before
people.
we get into that, I did just want to drop a quick note for our sponsor. You really need these diet pills.
Yes.
These pills are going to help you with your gains. We're tired of these wimpy soy boys.
Yes. They have all the macros. Yes. Hey, let's talk about some Survivor because I don't know if you recall this, but last week I went out on a limb. I made a prediction, which is not a thing I normally do. And some things happened in this episode that felt vaguely like my prediction. So how did you feel about this episode?
Yeah, I thought this was a good episode. That does not seem to be the common perception among people that I've seen comment about it.
Really?
But here's what I think is happening. I think everybody was commenting live, and they were in just a panic spiral throughout the episode. And so I don't know if enough people have been talking about the episode after the fact. It's like, hey, I mean, are you guys really upset that Chrissy left? I feel like they were all worried that something was going one direction. And then when it didn't go that way, there just wasn't enough time to be like, oh, hey, you know what? That was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because, I thought it was fun to see our hero imperiled a bit and then survive. And then what did we get? Exactly what we were hoping for last week.
Right.
The pattern of people we don't give a shit about leaving this season.
Yeah. That's why I was initially like, what, really? People weren't into this episode? But yeah, your hypothesis stands because, if I were live tweeting this, I was mildly nervous because, again, this was exactly what I was predicted. But I was thinking as it was going down, like, oh shit, what was I thinking? Like, I don't know if I actually wanted to watch this. I don't know if I'm enjoying this. And they did have the exact scenario that I mentioned last week where I thought David would come for Camilla and then Kyle's going to have to make a choice, right? And they're going to have to counter him in some way. And they didn't counter as dramatically as I would have liked, but, I'll take it. But as you mentioned, though, we should briefly talk about how we are having a season where we're actually eliminating the chaff. That is a real thing that is happening. We are taking out.
And people aren't happy about it for some reason. And I think it's because they're not happy with the messenger. And we can get into that. But yes, man, 4 votes in a row, four votes in a row post merge-like substance where it's like, cool. These people aren't going to win. They're not going to factor into the decision. This is good. This is fine. This is good stuff.
Right. And I mean, of those, the one you could credibly say was at least somewhat dynamic as television was Say. But I'm not disappointed to lose Say.
I'd say more than somewhat. Very dynamic.
Sure.
Just maybe not the dynamic I was into after a while.
Right.
Yes.
But the thing is, we've lost 4 people, and I'm like, no, this is good. I like the group that we have left. I feel like this is shaping up to be a season where, there's some entertaining but not grating villains. There's some good plot points developing. There's some arcs I can see being entertaining. This is shaping up well. I love how the start of this merge has gone, and I think even Star, I would say, is probably like the least dynamic one left. But like even in this episode, Star was pretty entertaining, right? Like she got a couple lines in there that I was like, all right, I'm glad you're around.
No.
No?
I mean, if they
Good for you,
kept it, and she'd be my next on my hit list. But I am ready for them to, change the pattern. But yeah, I won't be sad if she were to. I don't think she's adding much for me.
See, I think actually I would
personally.
be fine with Eva being next, but that's, I think.
Oh, sure, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like in general, I'm actually ready for like the story to change up. But if they continue to the path of, you know what, we're just not going to let the boring people win. Yeah, Star would be next on my list. I mean, nobody's talking to her. But yet, I mean, for me, yeah, I enjoyed the episode in part because despite everything that they were showing us, I wasn't that nervous. I definitely got nervous a bit, and I got that feel. But as you were saying, they didn't fight back, as dynamically as you wanted. I don't know if that was the word you used, but something like that.
Dramatically. But
Dramatic.
Sure. Yeah, I thought that would just be, like we're going to rally the troops and we're going to come up with some like clever plan to no, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was, we'll get into the strategy a little bit later, but like it was not the way if I was writing the heroic arc of our heroes, I don't think this is exactly how I would have scripted it.
Yeah.
So,
and see, for me, the absence of that was the tip off. I'm like, Camilla's not going out like this. They didn't build up this character and the fun things and all of that because she otherwise hasn't been that necessary for the narrative that we've gotten so far. She didn't get like as big a personal story or anything like that. So it's like, I feel like if she was going out here, we would have seen them exhaust more possibilities.
I did.
And because we weren't seeing that, I'm like, I actually think it's just going to be Chrissy. And honestly, all it took was like, hey, she wanted to vote you out. Like, so, because I'm like, why aren't they enlisting Mitch? Okay, good. You're talking to Shane. Why is Camilla not talking to Shane? Where's he at? And I'm like, oh, I think they're not showing us that because it's pretty much after the heated discussion with David, everybody else is like, nah, fuck that. We're just going to put out Chrissy.
Right. And once they reached a consensus without David and Mary, they were like, okay, yeah, fuck it. We don't,
yeah,
you guys.
And that doesn't make the edit because now, like, the edit is working hard to, like, present that we have two different options here. And frankly, to probably put us probably in some state of anxiety over a character that they should probably assume that people will enjoy. They featured her for reasons, I'm sure they're not worried, thinking that like we put the work in to make people worried that Chrissy was going to leave. That is certainly not something they've done.
To the point that when, they start an episode with a Chrissy confessional, it's like, ooh, this is promising. I think maybe she's going tonight.
So yeah, I just kind of felt like, certainly a possibility. But as it was coming in, I felt pretty calm heading into Tribal Council. It's like, I don't think it's Camilla.
Yeah, I mean,
look, man, I'm shitty at predictions, so it's fine. But like, genuinely, I felt confident.
I was not as confident as you were. I still had some fear that it was Camilla going. I would say like 60% sure she was staying. I was definitely not entirely convinced. So yeah, because, I feel like we've had some people taken away from us who are fun people. So it's like, oh man, I'm bracing for it. And, Camilla like landed the very funny Olympics joke earlier in the episode. And I was like, oh man, what if they're just reminding us that she was so fun? To the doubts creeped into my head.
Mm-hmm. And then as Tribal Council goes on and we hear Chrissy talking and we hear David talking, did you start to feel more comfortable?
Yeah. I mean, we should probably talk about Chrissy's Tribal Council. This is the second week in a row.
Yes.
So
a lot of people were celebrating her speaking out against power last week.
Yeah.
Less so this week. And I'm the opposite.
Well,
last week I thought I was dumb, and this week I was like, keep talking.
So that was what I was going to say is, I mean, given that we know the outcome, this was probably the place to have that conversation, right? Because she was on the way out. So, the last ditch effort of like, hey, you should probably stop this. Sure, totally justified here. Absolutely an own goal last week to do it. But this time it's like, if now you can use the exact same strategy to try to unfuck yourself from the damage that you caused last week. So
I love how the episode begins that way. Like everybody's like, oh, and she's like, "Hey, I just talk shit," and all that's like, sure,
it's me. I'm just funny. I'm so hilarious with my talking shit. And then she's like, in the confessional, well, actually, I wasn't talking shit. Like, no, we know. We were all aware.
Don't listen to anything I say at tribal council. That's not how this works.
Right.
Yeah, no, was her actions blabbing like that, not once, but twice, and probably also at camp, certainly, with, Kyle and stuff. Was it smart? No. Am I glad she did it? Yes, very much so.
Right.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you for your service.
Right.
Because I think without it, yes, Camilla goes home here.
Yeah, I think, he really needed, me and Kyle really needed a solid case for getting Chrissy out. And, if Joe needed proof that Chrissy had been talking shit and suggesting that we get rid of Joe and or someone else, like, Chrissy's making it really easy on Kyle at that point, right? Like, it's no like, well, I don't know if I can trust Kyle on this. Like, no. Chrissy's giving the whole game away and just being like, yeah. So I was saying earlier that we should get rid of the strong guys, like Joe, for instance. Like, okay, thank you, Chrissy. You're really like, if anything, you're only making Kyle seem like a more loyal and like trustworthy ally, which is hilarious because I know he's going to exploit that at some point soon.
But yeah, no, and look, I fully believe that by the time they went to tribal council, she was already the target. I don't think she put it on her because, we never see anybody get up and whisper. We don't even really see knowing nods, right?
Right.
I suppose it's always possible, and I have certainly not read any exit interviews for Chrissy. I barely paid attention when she was on the show. Why would I continue when she was off of it? But I doubt there was a live tribal that could have edited it out. And I saw, frankly, if they had edited it out, this would be a mistake, and why people have talked about that before because they hate live tribals for some reason. And look, I understand sometimes they're just not captured well on TV, but it's like we'd be missing a major part of the story. I don't think we are. I think they probably decided, but I think that, she certainly made sure there wasn't going to be a live tribal if they had already decided, like, okay, yes, we're feeling good about the decision. Yes, apparently it was totally her. But yeah, like when Kyle tells Joe that, she was talking about you, yeah, he's not shocked because he was at the previous tribal council where she had already laid the groundwork with such, dexterity.
Right. Well, that's the thing is, when she's again beating this same drum, it's like, oh, okay, no, I'm, as if he didn't already believe Kyle that Chrissy had thrown his name out. Like now he's got to be like, okay, yeah, it's just so definitely right. Like this, let's say he took the bait and was like, yeah, maybe I don't necessarily, I'm going to take her at her word. And she's just a shit talker at tribal council. Right. Well, like, when you're bringing back the same hit from last time, then I'm starting to think like, I don't know that you're shit talking so much as this is your whole shtick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it worked out well. I do agree with you. They probably already had this plan lined up and ready to go. But it definitely reinforced their decision to have Chrissy just do this on public display in front of everyone at tribal council.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, and we kind of talked about this last week, like she's not wrong in what she's saying.
Nope.
It's just, that's not how you do it. These are conversations you have with people, not just yelling. And again, less of an issue tonight. So it was like last week, as you were getting at, she was giving the Hail Mary when she was not downfield. Now it's like Eliza on the way out, wake up, sheeple, it's going to be you. Maybe, it's probably not going to work, but who knows? But last week, that wasn't the case at all. She was part of the majority vote. She wasn't actually trying to push for anything from what we saw. There's a big alliance. If you're not part of it, we should do something about it. Now, it was a little tough because I don't know. She doesn't seem to actually know what the alliance is. All she really seems to know is Eva, Joe, and Shaheen.
Right.
She didn't know that David was in it because, she was trying to incorporate him in her plans, which is fine. Like, sometimes you just don't know things. By the end, I feel like she felt fairly comfortable that David was also involved in this.
Yep.
But she clearly doesn't know that Kyle is part of it. So she doesn't even know what her countermeasures are. And it's just like, yeah, it's not enough just to be like, hey, if we don't do this, they're going to win. Because what else do you have? What are you offering? What are the bonds that you've had,
To me,
They were voting for Mitch, they were voting out Cedric, it's like, I guess you didn't vote out Cedric.
Well, to me, this iteration of Chrissy reminds me of the previous iteration of a Chrissy, where it was just like, I don't think you understand how a social game works.
Yeah.
It's just like, how tone deaf are you? Can you not read the room at all? I think ultimately, she dug her own grave. Like, that is exactly why they decided that it was going to be Chrissy this time. You in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it was weird to see David pushing so hard for Camilla. But like, I didn't think it would be that hard to get like Joe and honestly even David convinced on like this is about integrity and loyalty type thing. Like, oh, we can't just have Chrissy doing this shit. Like, we need to get rid of her. And I mean, obviously Joe was convinced, right? Like, we saw him right away, like, yeah, he's on board. But he wasn't willing to force David and Mary to come along until clearly he was at some point that we didn't see.
Yeah, I think maybe once they had all of their other ducks in a row, then it's like a heads up. Actually, we're going to vote for Chrissy. Yeah.
Right. Once you've got Shaheen and Mitch and everybody else on board, then it's like, okay, well, you know what? Live to fight another day, David and Mary. But we should talk about the two competing sides here, because like Kyle and David were both pretty passionate about their cases. And Kyle in particular, obviously, as I predicted last episode, like, oh my God, he's got to panic and save his friend. So how did you like Kyle's response? Because it was, again, this is our man acting under pressure here. How do you think he handled it?
I thought he did really well. And particularly, there's not much time. If this was older Survivor, they probably would have had another day, in which case maybe you can just rally the troops and just go against this big alliance. But there's just not enough time and space for that. I'm also not sure that it would really work because, before they get to the extra part, you're probably thinking maybe we need Star. I don't know if Star's looking to flip on those people. Now, as it works out, Star wouldn't have had a vote at all. But yeah, then you could probably get Chrissy aligned with it as well. It's like, okay, we need to do this, or just go with Chrissy's plan to take out Shaheen if it's necessary. But there's not enough time for all of that. So I think what he's saying to Camilla is like, you just need to go for Chrissy. Like, this isn't time to like, how we optimize our turn here. We just need to survive in advance. And I think that works. Now, where he ran into some difficulty is, well, he's just trying to casually, without like betraying anything, that like, oh, he's trying to save Camilla, just talk, hey, can we just talk about this with, all 4 members of the strong, or actually, I guess it was just 5.
It's 5
of because Shaheen, I don't think was in that conversation.
He was often,
but yet
doing something else.
Mary is. We can get to that. But he's just trying to talk. But the problem he runs into is David is really not particularly interested in other viewpoints in this. Frankly, David is not interested in lateral thinking when it comes to this stuff. Like, it reeks too much of those dirty, strategists or whatever. So that flustered Kyle because just David was being really aggressive in that moment. But I actually think that worked in Kyle's favor, so that when Kyle was able to have side conversations, it was, before he was even got to, Joe, hey, she's trying to come after you. He was kind of like, whoa, what was that with David? And Joe was like, yeah, man, I didn't really like that. So right. I think Kyle's approach of like not pushing too hard worked well.
I think Kyle almost got a little too aggressive in his defense. And I think that's partly because he was caught so off guard by how like strongly David was arguing that it had to be Camilla. He really should have probably just kept pounding the like, Chrissy's coming for Joe. Like, why is that not enough for you? Like, put it back on David. Like, hey, are you just not down to protect someone in our alliance? Don't make it so much about defending Camilla, which I think he like he slipped into that a little bit by saying, like, she has been loyal with us. Like, she's been voting with us. And it's like, no. Don't do that shit. Just stick with the, like, hey, man, why aren't you, like, or why are you so cool with Chrissy sticking around when she's clearly, like, made it plain that she's coming for us? And yeah, I mean, you are correct that it did help that David was so fucking passionate about it, because, yeah, when someone's that loud and aggressive about a vote that shouldn't be all that important to them, then it, like, raises some red flags, right? Like, Joe was like, oh, yeah, that's weird. And I imagine Shaheen probably thought the same thing, was like, what? Why is he so big into this idea? So I'm guessing that's what eventually helped flip it.
Yeah. Well, I do believe, doesn't Kyle later tell Shaheen that, like, that he thinks Camilla's with you, and, like, that's why he's going for it. I think in the pointing out that, like, hey, Camilla's been loyal, I think that will lay some ground for later. And again, maybe not what you're trying to do right now, but I do think, like, tomorrow it could be helpful when they start to reevaluate everything. Why are we? Why is Mary part of this, for instance?
Mm-hmm.
But like, he never did say, it's like, I don't want to vote out Camilla. It shouldn't be. He was really just trying to, like, can we talk this through, Camilla versus Chrissy? And David was like, no. And so that's where he started, I think, seeming more defensive. But that's because, David was putting even the idea of having a conversation on the defensive. Yeah.
Which, again, weird. Just like, we'll get to David in a second. But the one thing that I really related to is that, like, Kyle not wanting to out Camilla as his number one. That's absolutely, like, me and my favorite coworkers. Like, I am keeping that shit under wraps. Like, I'm not letting other people in the office know who my friends are. I'm going back to my desk and hiding, and then texting my friends, like, not making it all public and shit. Because, yeah, I would work the exact same game out on Survivor, and I'm impressed with the way that Kyle's doing it.
Yeah,
I think it's working for him.
We'll see if that has purchase in a season like this, where apparently having obvious idols or obvious alliances is an asset rather than the opposite. But I don't know if that'll remain to be true.
I think for now it's an asset. I think very soon it might no longer be an asset, because, I mean, you can already see the cracks forming, right? Like you said, David's pointing out, like, oh man, I think Shaheen has Camilla. I'm like, oh, interesting. So, like, having a really tight bond with someone, that's something we're worried about now, right? David, who is suddenly besties with Mary, like, that's something we're worried about. And, again, Joe and Eva, clearly tight bond. They're going to be like, oh, wait, we're going after someone for having too tight of a bond with another player. So the cracks are already starting to form. So, yeah.
No, that's like, a lot of people are, like, really panicked over this, strong five. They're going to take over and all this. And I feel like they're not doing the math on where Kyle leads on these five. It's like, you get that he's one of those five, right?
Right.
So, like, if Kyle doesn't want to be one of those five, the numbers can still go in many different directions, right?
Right. I mean, Mary just takes his place then. But let's talk about David, because, yeah, as we've said, David, pretty fucking aggressive with his arguments. Weirdly, though, like, he was basically doing all the shit he's accusing Kyle of, right? Like, he's very much projecting, like, oh, why are you so adamant about this? Why can't you just accept it? And meanwhile, it's like, yeah, but David, why are you so adamant that it has to be her? And why can't you accept that we can have a conversation and it should be Chrissy? So it was very odd. And also, I found it entertaining that David's logic was essentially like, Camilla last week suggested to him that Shaheen might have an idol, right? Like, so,
which he's still hanging on to.
Yeah. So in his mind, Camilla comes and shares this suspicion that she has about Shaheen having an idol. And therefore, in David's mind, that makes Camilla Shaheen's number one ride or die ally.
Yeah, that's a weird leap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
it's like
the conclusion I'd jump to.
A really weird unintended consequence of last week. Yeah,
right.
We're gonna make David plant some seeds to make him suspicious of Shaheen. Goal, score, point. And as a result, that's going to put Camilla in danger.
Yeah, but again, just like...
And not in the way you think, like it backfires, like, oh,
right.
I mean, she was talking shit about you. We got to watch out for her. It's more, we got to make sure Shaheen doesn't get too powerful. He might have an idol and this ally. What?
Well, and that was the thing, too, is that that's how I thought it was going to go down. Is like they were going to go talk to Shaheen and he was going to be like, what the fuck? No, of course I don't have an idol. And that was what's going to set the events of this episode off.
That was my worry as well. Or even just, if he had an idol, why didn't he play it? He thinks they might be up to something.
Yeah, but no, it was absolutely like, Camilla's trying to sell this man out. So clearly that's his ride or die. Like, all right, man. I think I can see why you were very against having strategists on this season.
Again, even just that, it's like, oh, my strategist sense is buzzing here. I got to get rid of her. Like, and people have said this in comments, and they're all right. Like, David came to the correct conclusions just for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Like, Camilla is dangerous.
Yep.
Kyle is aligned with her and looking to turn on them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He's right that Camilla has a secret ally that she's very close with. It's not the one that he thinks, but he's not wrong about the concept.
The thing is, I think we even get an early confession of Shaheen. David might not be wrong that Shaheen is considering Camilla as an ally,
right?
Which will be news to Camilla when she finds out. So it's like he's not totally wrong in his instincts, but we don't know how he got to that answer. You know, it's like he put the number at the end, but you know, if you have to show your work, he's losing lots of points there.
Just a quick aside, because I forgot to mention this earlier. Did you think it was weird? Like, they're picking the teams for the challenge, right? And it was weird that it was just like the guys being like, yeah, I'll take you. And I was just like, okay, well, it's just accepted.
I feel like they have to say yes.
Right? It was like asking someone to the prom, and it's like they're forced to say yes because, like, what is happening here? Like, why? There's no discussion. It's just, yeah, I guess I'll take you, Camilla. You're with me, I guess. It's like, oh, okay.
I do believe when like Kyle's with Chrissy was formed a bit more as a question,
right?
And then I think like David and Mary might have like fist bumped or whatever, and like Eva and Joe were assumed, but yes, especially Shaheen is like, I'll pair with Camilla, and Camilla's just like, okay. Where'd that come from?
Right? Like, oh, surprise. So yeah, it was just, I found it odd that they were just essentially calling their shots in that way. Shaheen especially, his was the most egregious, where it's like, so this is not a conversation. This is just, you decided this is going to be your buddy.
Which, of course, only feeds into David's suspicion.
Exactly.
Fairly, in some ways, that was kind of a weird move.
Yep. And Joe even had the confessional where he said, like, you know, I'm looking to see if I can determine people's alliances. And then, you know, Shaheen's like, yeah, okay, Camilla for me then. But, you know, you would have to think if someone was, you know, a clever strategic player, you maybe don't make your number one ally like the obvious pick right there.
Yeah, I mean, Joe held off, right? He didn't say Eva until like she was. I believe that was like the fourth pairing. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, it's not going to be Star or Mitch,
right? Not tearing up with those losers. Cool. You kidding? Also, side note: as soon as they got to the challenge, and I saw all the pairs, I was like, okay, so it's Mary or Eva that's winning this then. Because like you knew they were going to get to the end, and then once they did, it's like, okay, well, definitely not Joe or David winning that poll challenge.
There's the reason why elephants don't climb trees.
That's right. Thanks, Yule. So yeah, well, I was like, okay, well, one of these two is definitely getting immunity.
Yeah. And then I was like, it's probably going to be Eva for the reasons she stated at the end. You know.
Yep. Exactly.
Those thick hockey player thighs.
Sure. Yes.
Do you know like high level hockey players actually have to get like their jeans like custom made?
Oh, really? Because they're just
there's like a company
quads.
here in Canada. Yeah, the quads are just so fucking big they don't wrap in those. Yeah, okay. There's like 2 companies here in Canada that specialize it, and hockey players from all over the NHL, and then like junior hockey, even Europe, they fill out orders.
Okay,
the more you know. Ding ding ding.
Oh, yeah, seriously. I'm learning something new tonight.
But yeah, so David's whole thing was no good. And then, of course, he comes on strong in there. It really turns Joe off. He keeps like that. It has to be this way. And then, he continues to come on strong in tribal council. What do you think about that?
I don't know. For the moment, I'm thinking like, man, when I go to Canada, should I get some like quad jeans? Like, is that could be a style?
I don't know that the retail. You'd have to look up the because they take custom measurements.
Oh, okay. Okay, I gotta beef up the quads first. I'll do some squats before I head up there and hit those macros. All right. Anyway, back to your question though.
It's fine. We covered the important stuff.
I was gonna say. I mean, I seriously was thinking like, what do quad jeans look like? Just how much extra fabric we talking in that quad area. Anyway, I assume we need to talk about the Strong Five thing. First of all, ignoring your question, where the fuck did Mary come from? How is Mary Strong 6? Like, Strong 5 already a misnomer now because Mary is now like fully on board. Like 100% like she's been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
I mean, that's certainly the way that David's approaching it. I feel like everybody else is like, well, I guess we'll just let David run with this. You don't reject a potential ally right away because then they're not somebody voting for you. But yeah, I don't know how much Shaheen, Joe, and Eva are that excited about Mary being part of it.
It's just like David being the golden retriever who just brought like a toy home that's not yours, and you're like, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess this is fine. Yeah, okay, sure.
And he's probably the single guy that keeps bringing shitty girlfriends to couples events. It's like, oh, good. They're going to be in the wedding photos now.
Cool. Yay. And where did you say you met her again? Oh, cool. Great.
Do we bother remembering her name or do we just label the photo +1?
Right, exactly.
And like, to be fair, it does feel like it's 5 plus Mary. It's not quite 6, Yeah. And look, I could understand a world in which they're like, we'll let David bring a friend because the other side has 3.
Sure.
Right. And so in this, correlate, they assume it's David and Kyle. So it kind of makes sense, like to keep the peace. Each side brings 3. That it's Mary, came out of nowhere, but sometimes things don't make the edit until they're plot relevant. Really, it wasn't probably good that it wasn't Chrissy.
I thought it was weird too that Mary similarly had such credit to her. She is fully comfortable being in this alliance and just speaking her mind.
Yeah,
like she was
I know,
just no hesitation at all. Like no. Dave is right. This is exactly what we need to do, and here's why. It's like, oh shit, okay, so you were just coming in hot with your takes for this alliance.
Yeah. The +1's picking the restaurant. When's that happening?
Yep. Exactly. Like she's just like, no, I got invited, so I feel like I belong. No imposter syndrome whatsoever. She's just ready to lead this alliance.
And hey, man, it's her game. Obviously, she's wants to have a voice. I get it, but bold.
Yeah,
it's like we're not even sure if you're part of this here, lady.
Yeah, there was definitely some questions early on, but Mary, no questions at all. She's like, yep.
Well, I mean, she was squeezing out Shaheen, right?
Yeah. I mean,
because the logic of why it has to be Camilla is David's worried about Shaheen, but doesn't want to actually make a move on Shaheen. No, he's still part of 5. He's bro, but we gotta neuter him a bit here.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently we're supposed to just be fine with that. And Mary is all in on this. And it's the point where it's like, I almost wonder if this whole let's target Camilla thing is Mary's doing. Maybe she put that in David's head.
But then also, again, the projection thing, like, oh, we really got to get rid of this guy, Shaheen, who's maybe bringing in an outsider. Like, hey, man, how did Mary get here all of a sudden? Like, oh, you brought her in, you say? Interesting. It's like the exact same shit that he's accusing other people of.
Yeah.
But, I feel like I could guess who he voted for in the American election.
Yeah. But since this episode worked out the way we wanted it to, I feel I'm happy with this because I think it's going to be one of the things that we can use.
Still fine.
Yeah. David's, being overly aggressive about things and being oblique to the fact that he is doing exactly what he is accusing Shaheen of doing, that Shaheen actually isn't doing just yet, but maybe now will.
Yeah, he might want to.
Maybe they're speaking it into existence.
Right. Which is very funny, given that, like, last episode, we saw them trying to throw Shaheen under the bus, and now it might just be like, oh, shit, now we need Shaheen. He's coming to us. Like, we need him, and he needs us.
Even the beginning of the episode, it was like, but I still don't trust that Shaheen, and now it feels like, Shaheen,
Yep.
You're my bud.
Hey,
Let's
man.
make this happen.
I've always said, us.
Yeah, so David goes crazy at tribal council and is all like, but won't somebody finally think about the strong men?
That was great. I just think that, as I said, the cracks are already starting to show with this Strong Five alliance. And I mean, who would have thought, really, that an alliance built on, like, it's great if people are blindly loyal and aren't good at strategy, like, banding together like that. Who would have thought that wouldn't be a recipe for success, right? Like, wow. Who could see that coming? Yeah, I'm very excited for the blind loyalty and, like, hey, we hate strategy crowd to just get absolutely decimated.
Well, what's great is that, like,
strategy.
not even all five of them believe that, right? Like, fully only three.
Right. Well, and I mean, even then, how much do you trust that David believes this?
I think he does, because I think he because is his only path, right? If I can eliminate all of that other stuff from Survivor and just make it about rocking challenges and, being useful at the tribe. I don't know if he is or not, though we don't really get a lot of that. Then he can win. If people are starting to play Survivor like all that he's been seeing in all of the few seasons he's seen of Survivor, he's toast. So I actually think he's committed to it, but he also, of course, wants it always designed to benefit his needs.
What? How dare you suggest such a thing?
Which, I mean, we're officially making fun of it, but also that's how everybody should always treat every alliance.
Yep.
Like, every alliance that anyone's in, whether you have pecs or whether, you're nerdy and watch Survivor a lot, should be, designed to help and benefit you, because it's not actually a team game.
Right. But that's, the difference here is that most people recognize that that's the thing. They don't get all high and mighty about it. So
yeah,
that's
but so as he's doing that, and on its face, like, it just sounds silly to be like, oh, but nobody ever thinks about the strong men, though. He's not 100% wrong in that in the real way that he's talking about it as it relates to Survivor. Nothing to do with the real world. I'm not actually looking to listen to the podcasts that sell all the supplements and fish oil or snake oil is the term I was trying to use.
Yeah,
Maybe
no, fish oil is a real thing.
That's probably actually the crunchy charity type podcast. Charity, the person that was on Survivor earlier.
Yes, right.
Or Stephanie, or both.
Probably both.
But yeah, man, like, actually, it's a real thing that people target the strong physical players at this point in the game. And I finally find it ridiculous that people on the internet are pretending otherwise because they've chosen to take offense at this buffoon. And if you doubt that, show me your fantasy teams. How many of you are picking David and Joe first and second? You're not. Nobody is. We know that type actually does not, over-index in terms of success.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, no, strong people alliances form all the time and do well. Give me one. I just need one example. Somebody posed this question on our site and then dutifully tried to answer it themselves. And every example they put is a fucking stretch.
Yes. The only one that I explicitly remember was Blood versus Water, like, where Brad was like very explicitly like, man, we need these strong dudes to bond together because, like, we don't want these little nerdy guys winning.
Yeah, no.
How'd that work out for him?
Yeah, Brad did not make the merge.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, every example, yes, have strong physical people formed alliances before in Survivor. Yes, tale as old as time. How long have those alliances lasted?
Exactly.
They are not successful, okay? It's not happen. So what he is trying to accomplish here actually would be a first. It's also why it's not going to work, and I'm not worried about it. But like the people being like, "What? That's just how Survivor is all the time." No, it's not. It's fucking not. And don't lie to me. And I should say, like, it's not really happening so much on our site. I made the mistake of like searching the hashtag on Blue Sky because I was looking for pictures, and just a whole bunch were like, "How dare he?" It's like, settle down. Like, he's right. He's being a dummy. But it's like, yeah, this is the time when we're all like, oh yeah, that person's going to go out mid-merge as soon as they lose immunity. That's just what happens. He's trying to make it not happen. God bless him. I hope he fails. But like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not a thing. It's absolutely a thing.
Hey, it's playing into this thesis that the strong already get too much. Eva got gifted an advantage at the reward, and discerning viewers noted that it was assigned seating at that reward, and the reward for Eva was specifically in her chips. It wasn't like some communal chips. Like, no, it was in her bowl. So it was clearly intended for her, right?
Yes.
Did you feel like that was going a little overboard?
So I should first note that I didn't notice that at all upon watching it. It took people pointing it out.
Right.
And then I'll say, I do not believe that they were rigging it for Eva specifically.
Right.
I think they were rigging it for the immunity holder, which Eva was.
Agreed. But,
and the reason why, I'm just spelling this out for people that maybe aren't following the controversy. The reason why would be because the whole journey where she's going to get an advantage would take place after tribal council. So to protect, hey, if we're going to build this whole thing, we better have somebody show up. They put it there for the immunity holder. Do I have a problem with it? No.
Well, hang on, just to spell that out a little further. They did it for the immunity holder because that's the person who can't get voted out, right? Like, so you can guarantee that person will be there. Yeah. That was the thinking.
Yeah. Like, I prefer that they don't put challenges and advantages where like only one person really has a shot at it. But it's a tale as old as time for Survivor.
Sure.
I mean, for the longest time, like for the first, I guess not the longest time, but for the first kind of parts of idols, you had to get sent to a different island in order to have a chance at them.
Right.
Now, again, it got better when they stopped doing that. In terms of advantages, and I think why this feels kind of hinky to people, there's two reasons. One, the conspiracy theorists are all like, they're rigging it because they want, Eva to win because of her story or whatever. And fuck all the way off with that. I'm not worried about that. But I think it makes like she's already immune, and now they get another thing. It's like, well, tomorrow she's not immune, so you can calm down about that. It's not a double immunity that are giving away. They used to put advantages on the sit-out bench. How many people had a shot at those? But typically one person had a shot at it, the person sitting out, and nobody whined how like deeply unfair that was. And I think maybe in just people's minds, well, that person didn't get picked, they deserve a little something. But it's the same deal. And much like that, it's still possible that somebody else would have saw the scroll and be like, hey, what's that over there? So like, it wasn't 100% guaranteed that only Eva would have it, just most likely.
Right.
And we know that it's not impossible because Sarah Lucino went and grabbed it off of the sit-out bench when she was not the person sitting out. So like, it remains a possibility. So I'll just say, like, this is an established practice for Survivor that sometimes certain people, as a result of some part of the game that they're a part of, get a shot of advantages. And frankly, like, that's the whole what journeys are too, right? So
my only thought on this, or only take, I guess, is just that, an advantage on top of an immunity, on top of a reward, does seem like a lot for a single challenge win. We have no idea what this advantage is. It could be totally fucking useless. And realistically, like, those try to be sneaky things that they have, like, that's what her note said, is like, oh, you got to sneak out and whatever. They've never once backfired. She's not going to get caught. People don't get caught. Those aren't actual risks. So essentially, you are giving her an advantage in addition to the food that she already got and the immunity that she won. So yeah, it does seem like a little much.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree that it feels more, but like in its heart, it's like it's no more different than the person who randomly won the plate of fries last year.
Right.
Also got an advantage for it,
Right.
It's random, but they just, the randomness in this case was the immunity holder is going to get it.
Right.
And I suppose I could flip the other argument. You're saying, that seems like a bit much, but it's like, well, this case, unlike other things, they actually fucking won it. Like maybe this is merit.
Yeah. I don't like merit.
Yeah, fuck it.
I don't think that people should get what they work hard for. So anyway, we should talk about the other thing that's going on this week. We got some more Probst telling us that it's time to vote for Survivor 50. This is, I think, the third iteration, right?
That feels right.
Yeah. And we discussed this before the podcast. I actually did not yet look at what the voting stuff was prior to us podcasting. So I brought up the page and I'm going to look right now. I did see the very first
fantastic
one.
Radio.
Because when I brought up the page, I was like, what the fuck? So the very first thing that you will get to decide upon is the individual immunity necklace. You have two options.
Imagine caring.
I know
a lot of people do, right? And some people just care about the ephemera of Survivor, and I'm not there to knock them. Let your free flag fly. But
yeah, I mean, I'll kind of try to describe them. Like one, there's a picture of a phoenix in like a medallion in the middle, and then the other is the phoenix. Yeah, it's like the phoenix is the
phoenix
necklace.
Part is going to be part of this,
right?
Which I think tells us get ready for Exile Island. No, it should be that though, right? It should be coming back from the dead. But here's hoping not.
All right, so I'm gonna just because the people need to know, I'm picking necklace B.
I went with B as well.
Yeah,
it just looks cooler.
It's the one where the it's a phoenix and then it's got like a necklace around it. All right,
the first one's giving Hunger Games to me.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can see it. So second option is tribe supplies. Give them their supplies or make them earn them. I want to give the tribes their camp supplies at the beginning of the game. Survivor is hard enough. At least let them start on equal footing so they can start building shelter to protect themselves from the elements. Or I want the tribes to earn their camp supplies. It creates an instant disparity between the tribes, giving one an early advantage while testing the other's resilience, morale, and ability to adapt. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I mean, I think just generally, I like them being on equal footing. Like starving one out or whatever just doesn't do anything for me. I'm not here to watch people suffer. I don't mind people they earned extras and shit. They got their tarps or whatever they want to reward. Yeah. Sure, fine. But like flint and a pot,
a machete,
just give them that shit. So I'm gonna say give them their camp supplies.
Same.
And finally, twists.
I want to be confident that the reason that a tribe sucks is because they suck.
Right. That's the thing is I don't want to have them have anything to blame it on. Right. Like it just,
I don't need the thumb on the scale.
Right. Like the Green tribe at the start of the season, like they sucked because they sucked. It wasn't just because they'd had no food. Like Cedric was on their team. That was a big part of why they sucked. So, all right. Final option here, twists. Your options are keep the game straightforward. I don't like twists. They get in the way of a clean game. I want a season where players can lean on strategy and social skills, not sudden surprises that blow up their plans. So let's go old school. Twists should be very rare. Or keep the game shifting. I love twists. They add excitement and uncertainty, keeping the players on their toes and forcing them to adapt and rethink their strategy. Bring on the twists. Yeah, man, this is tough. Way too vague.
Yeah, I want the third option.
Right. Like, I don't mind the twists. What the ones that I'm opposed to are the bullshit that we've had before, where it's like the shatter the hourglass type shit. And just that reverses a thing that actually happened in the game. Like, no. Nothing like that. A twist, fine. Generally, I'm okay with. It's just, the few specifically bad twists that you've had, don't do that shit again.
Yeah. For me, it's like the right amount of twists is what I want. And I know that's tough to define,
Right.
but it's just like, here it is. I don't like twists. That's not me.
Right.
I love twists. That's not me either. It's just like, yeah, I recognize that the meta requires some things in order to keep things from becoming too stale. Yeah. So where are you going to go with this one?
I mean, this is a thing where this is a fandom ass question, right? Like where you have to feel passionately about the one. Like, no, I don't give a shit. Like sometimes they're cool. Sometimes they're too much. Like I don't like twists or I love twists. I'm like, twists are fine. I'm with you. Where's the option C? Twists are okay.
Like the middle one.
I'll accept twists.
I want Baby Bear's bed.
Right.
Which, speaking of, like, what kind of bitch does this, right? She breaks into somebody's home and, like, trashes their shit. Like, oh, this is no good. You're the thief. Get the fuck out.
And
hey, how about I talk about my process and that might help you decide?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I voted for I love twists.
Yeah.
Because this is where I was thinking, is that which part of the fandom annoys me more? And it's certainly the ones that complain all the time about twists. So
yes.
That's where I went with my votes. Like, fuck those fans.
Yeah.
However, before you click, if it's people on our site and comments did actually, because those are the fans I do like. You guys are great. Did kind of point out that like maybe it would send the wrong message. Like, oh, the fans voted twist, so let's twist this fucker up. So maybe I'm starting to second guess my vote. My vote's already in. That like fuck the people that complain, about twists. But maybe twist should be rare is probably the way to go.
Yeah,
just because the message it's sending.
Right. Like I was on board with the I love twists thing because for partly the reason that you were saying, and also because like I don't want them to not do twists. But even the other one. It says keep them rare. It's not saying don't have twists.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay. I think I'm flipping here. I'll say I don't like twists. Keep them rare. So there you go.
Like I said, I think with the sober second thought, I would have gone with the first option A on that one, because it's like they're still going to do stuff. They're not going to not. But maybe it's a mistake to give them license to be like, let our freak flag fly. Let's see what else we can come up with. The fans demand twists. We got to come up with new stuff.
Right. All right. I voted. There you go.
Right.
You guys
democracy in action.
You can vote. I'm going to
vote tomorrow.
I was going to say I can read the URL off to you. I'm not going to do that shit. Just Google it because it's a dumbass URL. It's not like votesurvivor.com or some shit like that. It's stupid. I already closed the page. So anyway, let's talk about a very important subject that came up this week. We got a little glimpse of camp life. There was some fun fucking around. Like Mary got in a good joke making fun of Kyle. Like, oh, if you fought an animal, like maybe it would eat off your wart or something like that. Like, you can tell these people are having fun. They're giving each other shit. But it did bring up a very important subject that I don't think we've properly addressed on this podcast before. And that is, what are the top 3 largest animals you think you could beat in a fight?
I'm so glad we had this fact. When it happened, I had to pause. My teenage son was in the room because he's always asking us this dumb shit because it's kind of like TikToks, certainly. So this is important stuff. And I definitely gave it some thought because it's honestly really good for the show to build into the theme of like dumb shit overconfident men believe.
Yes.
Which is kind of a theme for the episode.
Right.
In many ways. And hey, this podcast in some ways. So I will say I wasn't originally going to have an honorable mention because like what's an honorable mention for like an animal I've been beat the shit out of, right? But then I had to change an answer after thinking about it some more. So I originally was going to have cow in here.
Okay.
Thinking that like, no, they're huge, right? Like it wasn't even going to be my number 3. I was trying to think of like a big animal that I could take. And I'm like, well, I mean, like cow tipping, people tip cows. So if I just wait till it's asleep, I knock it over. Cause here's the thing. The animals don't know they're in a fight. Okay?
Right. That's
like
where you have
once
the element of surprise.
Once it starts to go down, they'll figure it out, right? That's when you get wrecked. But like the cows are going to know. So I was like, hey, if I tip it over, that's a victory. Because that's the other thing. The question posed was, what's the largest animal you think you could beat in a fight? And I
Right.
think when people read that or hear that, they start to think like to the death because I don't know, we're a hyper-violent culture or something. Murdering the animal is not in the question.
Right. No, it's just being in a fight.
Winning.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Now, look, depending on the animal you fight, you better be ready to fight to the death because they probably are going to.
Right.
Right. But yeah, so I was like, oh, I knocked the cow over. Great. And then this led to probably the first time in my life that I ever really thought about cow tipping, a thing I've heard of all the time.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, how the fuck do people tip over cows? Those things are huge.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and it turns out like it's probably fake.
Urban
it's probably not a
Yep.
real thing.
Yep.
So with that in mind, I'm like, well, shit, I can't beat a cow.
So that said, like I was asking my son, like, you know, which animals do you think I could beat in a fight? And he said cow. I'm like, why first of all, like, what am I squaring up on a fucking cow? Like, you just do this. I'm like, no. That's not happening. I'm like, they got like multiples of my body weight. Like, I don't think I'm, just delivering a roundhouse kick to this thing's head and it's going
You're
down.
gonna
I'm like,
feel it, yeah.
right. It's like, well, what are you doing? I'm going to go back to eating grass. Like, I think like, it's not going to have to fight back. I'm going to get exhausted trying to beat it up
Yeah.
and just be like, fuck, I'd lose. I can see.
Yeah, like it won't beat me up,
Right.
Unless it like lands on me, because I was like, maybe if I sweep the leg, but then I fucking crush myself with this, right? But yeah, I don't know that I can do anything to it.
Right. So yeah, it's just I don't think that's going to happen with the cow. So
I suppose another thing we should note is like no weapons, right?
well, yeah, this has got to be bare hand. That's I think the central premise is it has to be,
Because otherwise, like, yeah, the human's ability to form weapons is how we
Yeah.
removed
if
ourselves
you have a
from
fucking
the food chain, right?
sword.
Yeah,
know?
like a gun, anything.
Right.
Dentists take out elephants, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, so bare hands, whatever fighting style you want, break out the Krav Maga, whatever.
I want to choke this cow out.
Well, then that's the other thing. It's tough. You know what creature is really easy to choke? Humans, because our tracheas are exposed. It allows us to talk, whereas other animals less so.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've done a lot of talking. Do you want to go to your number 3, or should I
Yeah.
give
Okay.
one?
So
Yeah.
like I'm thinking when I finally got to my list, I'm like, I have to consider. I'm honoring the prompt, which is the largest animals, right? So I'm gonna start smallest. So my order is like smallest
same.
to biggest. And so for number 3, I picked koalas. Those little chlamydia riddled fuckers. Like they don't have much strength. They eat eucalyptus all the time.
Yeah, they're high.
They're probably
Possibly.
like, I don't know, maybe like a third of my size. But
They're
like
pretty small.
right, realistically, like I'm punting that thing, and it's it lost round 1. Like that is the roundhouse kick I can do to the head, and that it's tapping out right then.
Yeah. So I had my list, and then I realized I'm fucking with a cow. So then I went with sheep for number 3.
Okay.
Like, and it can be a big sheep as long as they don't got horns. I'm not gonna fuck with the horned sheep.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, what's a fucking sheep gonna do, right?
I think if it's a sheep with horns, it's a ram.
No, there is also a bighorn sheep is a thing.
Oh yeah, I guess so. We should have Barbara Anderson, our resident sheep expert, give us the lowdown on which sheep we could take in a fight.
Yeah. But I feel like bighorn sheep are not farm animals. They're like wild.
Yeah, sure.
Wild. I want the farm ones. Yeah, it can be a big one.
Yeah,
But
it's a
either way,
domesticated sheep.
yeah, I'm still gonna kick its ass.
Okay, got it.
And then they're fairly big. Like they're kind of tall. Maybe they look bigger when they haven't been shorn.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna take. Like with the wool, so it looks more impressive.
Right.
But,
well,
I'm a bad man, is what I'm saying.
and boo.
Yeah.
So also, it's funny that you set up that premise, because similarly, my number 2, I'm going like llama alpaca here, like one of those where you like they look
a little
bigger,
dangerous,
right? Yeah.
Watch they spit,
right? And they can kick and shit like
Yeah.
that, but also like I don't know, man. They got the long neck. They don't seem the most nimble. Like I could just jump on the back and pull a little chokehold move. Again, I don't know how effective it would be, but eventually I feel like it would just be like, I concede because I can't do shit to you. You're on my back, right?
right?
And so
And maybe it would run away, in which case that's total victory, right?
right, because it's saying like, nah, I'm out. So
Yeah.
then I think I win
Okay.
against the llama.
So for my number 2, I went with an animal that can get up to like around 100 pounds or more. So that's pretty sizable.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah.
An anteater.
Oh, solid. That tongue isn't going to do anything to you.
No, they don't have teeth. They don't have claws. They don't have venom. I would fucking curb stomp an anteater.
Right. What's it going to do? Lick you to death? Like, no,
Yeah, fuck that.
It's not happening.
Fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You don't even have to worry about domesticated or not. Like you zoo anteater,
yeah, man, I
wild
roll right
anteater.
on them. They'd be
Any of them.
eating the termite pile or whatever. And
Sure.
it's like it's go time, bitch.
That's right. Surprise. Boom. All right. So number 1, drum roll, please. I couldn't go with any other animal here. Because of course I am a Floridian. I picked an alligator.
Okay.
Because now
I want to hear that you have.
So, well, I was going to say, I am Floridian. You're probably going to be like, there's a decent chance it's already happened, right?
Like, I'm not going with moose.
Well, what's funny, yeah, right. But what's funny is there genuinely is an alligator that I see very regularly, like basically in my backyard.
You giving him a name?
Actually, yes, but doesn't matter. The point is, I am enough of a Floridian to know that there's a strategy that one would deploy when fighting an alligator. So, like, it could be a larger alligator and that'd be looking intimidating, but really they got the one move, right? Like they can chomp you. So the deal is, as long as you can keep that mouth closed, you win. Like
because the bite strength is strong coming down.
Yes, but he can't open his mouth.
Up.
Yeah, so as long as you get that mouth closed and you keep it closed, you won. You can just, pummel that thing on the head all you want. It's going to be like, shit, I lost. That was my move and you took it away from me. So alligator for me, my number 1.
You got to be careful because I know they've been known to take Chubb's hand.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I also know that you can get the revenge. Although I do think Happy might have led with the driver.
This is a great reference. I bet a decent chunk of our audience got that one though.
I would hope. As long as it's 3, that's all I'm aiming for. All right, so then I'm thinking biggest animal I can take.
Yep.
I'm like big animal. Anteater, hey, that's pretty big. And also, like, I'm look, man, we're not idiots. So like, we're not like fucking bear. No, man, they would kill me. And dog would maul me the fuck to death. Yep. So I'm trying to think, but I still want, and that's where at first I was thinking cow, but I still wanted like a big animal. And then I realized I would beat a whale in a fight. And everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It wouldn't even know you were there. But here's the problem. You're thinking I'm fighting on the whale's turf. Well, no, why would I do that? Why am I going in the ocean to start a fight? I can't even hold my breath. No, I'm going to fight
beaching
a whale on land. That's right.
Okay.
Now, it won't know as a fight. You probably won't even know that I'm hitting it. But as long as I stay away from the mouth and the tail, what the fuck is it going to do? I'll win on points. Just like Olympic boxing, as long as you make contact, you get a point, and eventually that thing's going to die because it's choking to death in the air.
I was going to say, could it maybe like roll over on you? But no, I guess not. It doesn't have like
it takes so many people to roll them over to get them back in the beach.
Yeah, it's not happening.
So if I happen upon a beached whale, which would be weird given that I'm living around the mountains and such, but I'd go on vacation. It's fucking go time.
I went whale watching the last time I was in Canada. I may do it again this time when I go get my quad jeans from the hockey tailors. Maybe I'll make a whale punch part of my efforts. Only if they're beached. I do agree with you.
That's right.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking with land. Like, why did Godzilla fight? Like, why did King Kong fight Godzilla in the water? Why did like the Wakandans like, hey, we're gonna fight those water people. Let's get on a boat. No. If you're going to stage a fight against an aquatic creature, they got to come to you,
right?
And if not, then like, what? Oh, you don't accept my terms? Then I win by default,
right? Like I've thrown down the gauntlet. The gauntlet is on land. Ergo.
That's right.
Yeah, what you
Let's
want to
do
win
this, Moby. You want a piece of me or not?
Right. It's a solid strategy. Yeah, I like that one.
So, like, frickin' blue whale, biggest animal on earth. I could kick a blue whale. I could win a fight. I would not kick its ass.
No.
But I would win the fight. The judges would be like, well, that one was active. No, the one, who's clearly dying.
Yep.
I don't even know why they took the fight.
If anything, it's the whale's fault for agreeing to your terms. All right. So please let us know in comments and text us. Just let us know what are the top 3 animals for you. This is one of the stupidest ones we've done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Kyle.
I love a top 3 of stupid shit. Hey, speaking of stupid shit, I mentioned that you can text us your answers to these things. We did get, it's called fan mail. We did get some texts over this past week. I just wanted to do a callback to one from before, which was someone asking me, how could I not name drop my favorite cereal? Tell us your faves. Because I had referenced that someone asked for our top 3 cereals. I genuinely would do a top 3 cereals at some point, but I don't know if that's ever going to come up. So I'll just spoil it for you right now. The one I was referring to in that podcast was my healthy cereal. It's called Nature's Path Golden Turmeric. It is. Yep. And listen.
Turmeric. Anyway.
Turmeric.
Who the fuck am I to talk about pronunciation?
I was going to say, it's that Canadian accent. Yeah, so that was the one that I was referring to that's maybe made in Canada, produced in the US. I don't know. It's a Canadian company and something. Anyway.
But the real one's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Exactly. I was going to say, if I'm going for trash cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch all the way, bar none, the best cereal of all time. It is dessert that masquerades as the healthy breakfast. It is bullshit. It's delicious. It absolutely wins the cereal contest, hands down. So
yeah, my usual choice is Special K vanilla almond. So
fine,
somewhere in between, I suppose, both of yours. Not quite as boring as the cardboard shit you were just talking about.
Yep.
But also, not exciting at all.
Yeah.
I also like mini wheats, but not with milk. That's fucking gross. But as a dry snack.
Sure. Yeah, the milk would only make them gross somehow. Sure. The Nature's Path also makes something called Heritage Flakes, which, if you're ever backed up, my friends, you really need to let some things go. Have you a big healthy bowl of those, and things will clear up for you just fine.
I'll stick to colon blood.
All right. So another one we got was, do you guys have any predictions for contestants for season 50? Yes, Angelina. That's it.
There you go.
I have been very clear on that one. Angelina.
Yeah. And I'll say, maybe that's something we can get into later. I am genuinely not thinking about 50 right now. I'm too focused on watching my favorite player of all time, Camilla, win Survivor.
Yeah.
Could she come back?
I was going to say, so maybe, Camilla can join Angelina. But yeah, again, that is the extent of my list for now. And I'll probably think about it more later of who I'd like to see back. But it's Angelina, and then whoever else we get, sure, whatever. All right. And then finally, I am reading verbatim here from the text. Team Lesbian Instincts says, what do lesbians call a big move? U-hauling. What do Survivor players call it? Blowing up their game at tribal council. And so at first, that's their whole text. And at first I thought this was suggesting that Chrissy is a lesbian. I was like, what is this saying? But in a weird coincidence, I was just telling my daughter about U-hauling this week. So I was like, yeah, well, it's important to give your kids the cholesterol they'll need for today's streets, Andy. So you gotta, teach your kids these things. So I was just like, what the fuck? I did not expect to see U-hauling come up in a text to my podcast. So yeah. I don't really know what they're going for with the Chrissy thing other than Dragon Chrissy, which I fully support. I don't think it is calling, I don't think it's calling Chrissy a lesbian, but
no.
Shout out to Team Lesbian Instincts, which is a great name. Thank you for bringing up U-hauling in a weird coincidence this week. All right. Anything else we need to discuss, Andy?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's...
Other than just remember, everyone, I'd totally beat that whale.
That's true. Oh, also, Purple Rock Podcast.
I'd wail on it.
No. Boo. PurpleRockPodcast.com is where you can find all our stuff, do your comments, and look at your fantasy league standings. All that said, hit the theme music.
This is the copyright-free outro to another niche Survivor podcast.